Welcome along to another video on the E39 V10 project. Taking off from where we left the last video. All the fronts virtually all bolted up. First thing on the job list is front arch liners and wheel stud conversion. I'll probably just do the front for now. I'll do the back when I've got the back wheels off next. So yeah, I'm going to jump into that now. Get these in. Run under the whole underside, checking all the suspension because everything's been to bits. Just check everything's tight, and hopefully we'll be going for a drive later. Just a little road test just to make sure the ABS is all working now and nothing's playing up. So I'll update you once I've got some stuff done. Welcome back. As you can see behind me, the car is out the shed. It's about a week later since I started this video, and yes, I went for a drive, and I'll post the video now. It's about 2 minutes long. I give it a bit of a send at the beginning and then another one towards the end. Obviously this was all done in Mexico, so yeah, I'll leave that one there and post the footage. So here's the car. It lives outside the shed now. Yes, most daylight it's seen in about 12 months. Since I've taken it for a drive, I have stripped it a little more. And as I might have mentioned before, I was having an issue with all the E60 stuff going to sleep when you left the car. So I've left it overnight now. There's a cluster for the E60 down there, and there we go. It comes straight on and the fuel pump's priming. The way I've got it wired in is I've got it wired into the and it's a closed circuit cut off. So after 16 minutes, stuff like your interior lights all close off. And so what I've done, instead of it being a permanent live to the cluster, I'm now running that off the same supply, which is on little junction box spade connectors behind the glove box area. There's a junction point up there, and I'm running the cluster off there now. And yeah, that seems to work. So as soon as you turn him on, he primes the pump up as should do, and everything's quite happy. I've extended the wiring for the E60 cluster from here obviously over to there. Hopefully going to just trim the bezel down a bit and put him in the glove box. It's just for the electronic oil level for now, till I can come up with a better solution, but it allows me to drive it at least. Yeah, so I've got to start by getting last bits of some wiring tidied up and get the dashboard in. I've got all the wiring that I needed to tidy up done under the dashboard. So the dash is all back in now properly. The cluster and the light switches are just dropped in temporarily for now. They need to go bolted in properly, but I did have it running up earlier just to make sure after doing all the wiring and bits like that it was all still good, and we're all good there. Next stage is probably going to be to look at getting the lower dash in. For now I'm just going to stick a Pioneer head unit in here for now. I don't know what I'm going to do on that front, but I'll just put one of them in for now, as it's got Bluetooth hands-free, which in this day and age is the main thing. Yeah, so I'll post a video up of I had it running, just only for 10 seconds or so, just to make sure everything was good, and it was. So I'm going to get on with making the lower dash, well, fitting the lower dash now, and I'll update you then. Okay, so I've got all the sort of glove box area and lower dash all built up now. Went to fit the radio and then realised that this car is a round pin and the adapter I had before was a quad lock. So I'm either going to get another adapter or change the radio plug to a quad lock. So yeah, I've also butchered the hell out of the E60 cluster. What I ended up doing with the hacksaw was trimming all the way around the edge, taking the plastic bezel off and literally just trimming that off of there. Took quite a while to save cutting through everything. It wouldn't fit in the glove box with the bezel on. You just sit him in there, and if you ever when I need to look at it, you can just pop him forward like that, and I'll be able to check the oil level, etc. And the engine management, well, the engine warning light will come on here as well if there is any errors. So yeah, that's all hidden in there. Sort of next task is going to be working on the driver's side area. So I'm going to get that, start putting the little corner piece on here with the cubby hole and the OBD port on there, and then once that's on I can look at getting the cluster bolted back in and the light switch frame as well. Get sort of the lower kick panel back in, a steering cowl to go on, and then maybe look at getting some seats in there. So I'm going to get on with doing this now. There we go, that's all the driver's kick panel area together. I've hoovered out the floor ready and going to get a driver's seat in now. I think I'll just drop the B-pillar trims on first because it might be a bit easier before the seat goes in. But yeah, I'm going to chuck the driver's seat in and then I'll get back to you. That's the driver's seat in. So I've got caramel heritage going in it, which should look nice against the carbon black paint. I mean, they need a bit of a refurb now. I did them about 4 years ago, but with only dyeing under what's underneath, it's hard, and especially with the heritage leather wearing more than the normal leather they put on the M5 seats. So I've got the steering cowl fitted up as well. That's a full leather cowl. It also needs a refurb up just where people have missed trying to get the key in the hole. But yeah, I'll do all that when I redo the seats again. It's not a major job. So all the dash is going back together. I just need to put the carpet trim. Well, I've got the full leather version, I just need to put the trim across there, and then that'll be the driver's side area all finished off, bar the trim and a door seal, which I think I'll look at now. Little tip, you can use passenger door seals on the driver's side. You just need to knock them into a new shape, or if you haven't got a spare one, just because they always split along this edge here getting in and out, you can actually just pull the seal round, and the join sits about there, and just bring it round, and even if you put the join here or there, you're never really going to notice it if you put him there, and that'll give you a fresh bit from up round that area down to there, and he will just bang flat, or just take him off and bend him back the other way to what he's formed. And that'll get you a seal on here because they're ridiculously expensive from BM for what they are. So I'm going to get the seal trim on and get that on now, and I'll show you what's next after. Okay, so I've just come to fit in the door rubber, and I actually grabbed a rear by mistake thinking it was a front, and to be honest, the rears are normally in so much better condition. All that around there where they normally rub through on there is virtually brand new. The only difference is the wear that you get has moved, so there's a bit of wear there from when it's been on the rear door, and a bit of wear there, but they're in a lot better shape than the ones that you'd normally get. The only issue is they're slightly longer, only about a centimetre or so longer, so I'm just going to trim that off with the hacksaw and then just pop him back together, and I think it will be a cheap way, an easy way to get a new door seal without forking out a BM. So I'm going to cut it now and fit it up. Okay, I've cut it now. It hasn't come out 100% perfect, but you can sort of scooch it down to try and close the gap. What I'd recommend is there's like a stainless steel band in there, but first of all cut the rubber with a blade or Stanley knife, and then just trim the metal there. I used a Dremel in the end because trying to hold it with the hacksaw, and you can just pull it out, pull it away from the car so you're not getting any crap going inside the car. You are going to see this tiny little join, but it's a lot better than it all split and all where it's all rubbed there. So I'm going to put the seal trim on now, and that will finish it all off nice. Okay, that's a finished product there. I mean, I wish I'd cut it cleaner with a knife before I went at it with the hacksaw. I think if you cut them cleaner with a knife first, they will come out a bit better than mine has there. But yeah, it's just a bit of wear there on this one, but the main edge that you see when you get in is absolutely perfect. So yeah, just about a centimetre, cut it off and it'll go. But yeah, I'm going to call that done there. All the carpet trims in now. I went to go and put some dash trims in, but all the clips are bust, so I'm going to order some more up because they are renowned for playing up. So I'm probably going to do that and see when some turn up. I might have something I can put in there temporary to try and hold it for an MOT. So yeah, next on the list is the passenger side. Same again, I've already got the door seal on and the B-pillar trim there. So I need to clear it all out, get the passenger seat in, and then start working on the back, which is quite a mess still. So go through all that. I need to get parcel shelf in first and the C-pillar trims and sorts like that, but we're getting there slowly. Welcome back to another day now. I'm probably day 375 of rebuilding this car now. Passenger seats in, all the sill trims are in, A-pillar trims are in, so now I'm working on the back. What I'm looking at now is we're running BC coilovers. They do some rear adjuster extenders. When I ran the coilovers before, I never fitted them, but now I'm looking at fitting them. I'm going to drop the speaker in next, and then we'll see whether I end up cutting these down or see how flexible they are, because it is just like an old speedo drive cable, so it should be easily trimmable. So I'm going to drop the speaker in now and we'll see what space we got. I'll just go grab it. Okay, so that's all the speakers back in. Don't forget to plug them in like I've done in the past, yeah, because that's always annoying to take the bugger back out again. What I've done is I've taken the grills off the parcel shelf. I'm going to try and get the parcel shelf in, and then have a look at what I'm going to do with these, and if I've got to take the parcel shelf back out, that's what I've got to do. It's a bit more of a nightmare on this parcel shelf because it's got the electric sun blind in, which drops through, I think, them 3 holes there and bolts in from in the boot, but it's just a bit more awkward because the bolt head threads get caught on it as you go. So I'm going to drop that in now and see where the adjusters poke out the parcel shelf. With the parcel shelf in, you can see how the adjuster is just angled back ever so slightly. So to get him more straight, I think he wants to come through about there. So I'm going to make a mark in there, and then I'll have a look at transferring that over onto the speaker grill, and then I can just put a hole straight the way through and look at a height to trim these down, because there's no need for them to be so tall. Just trim them down so they're just above the speaker grill, just enough to take it off when you come to remove the parcel shelf. So I'm going to mark it now and look at getting the shelf back out. Okay, what I did was ended up drilling the speaker grills first, like that, and I used a step drill in the end, because I think with a normal drill, with the helical cut of the drill, it would have just pulled the drill through and made a right mess. So I used a step drill after I'd done a pilot hole, and that's the adjuster cable pop through there. I'm just waiting for some touch-up paint to dry around where the speaker grills. I did an 8mm hole in the end, which seems to be a little loose, but it's got a little bit of movement in there as well, which should let it rotate nicely with the adjuster on. What I've got to look at now is cutting it. And you can see roughly it's about a 12-15mm height difference between the outer sheath and where you want the cable. So what I'd sort of suggest is cutting it all in one go and then trim 15mm off the outer sheath after, because you can just take him off, push him back down all the way, and you should be good to go. So I'm going to get on with that now. I'm going to see what the best way of cutting it is, whether I just end up getting the Dremel on there or not, we'll soon see. But yeah, I can see it being a bit awkward to cut. I'm going to go see if I've got any big snips that I could use, maybe see if they'll cut it, and go from there. Okay, so that's the adjusters all trimmed down. What I ended up doing was cutting the black outer sheath down to 120mm or 12 centimeters, and then trimmed the inner, the drive cable 15mm longer, and the best way I found it, I took it all out of the car again and did it on the bench with a Dremel. I found a Dremel the best way to cut the outer sheath and the inner, and then I used a set of wire crimpers to square off the end of the drive cable, because it has a crimped end. You can get proper tools to do it, but I haven't got one, and I definitely wasn't going to buy one just to do these 2 cables. So I just crimped the end with a set of wire crimpers, and then the next stage is going to be get the C-pillar trims in, the lights, and then I could start look at getting the back seats in. So I'm going to get on with that now. That's the rear seat assembly all bolted up, all the headrests in. That's all that finished off, and now next on the cards is the door cards. I need to have a look at these vapor barriers as well. I have got some new tape on the way. Hopefully it should be here any time now, according to Amazon, and then I can look at trying to get these vapor barriers stuck on a bit better, and yeah, go from there. I've got to fit the sun blinds, so there's a couple of fixings that need to go in there, and also one there and one there for the hooks. Change that clip there. Well, you put a clip behind that screw there, and I've also got to trim the edging piece that goes all the way around there, because this car's got double glazing. The actual window trims are different. So what we have in here that's one that I've had sublines fitted. It's got like the hook and that there. So if you look at this one end on to that one end on, you'll see that the double glazing has this extra trim all the way down. No, the single glazing has this extra piece all the way down that edge there, and the double glazing is just finished off. But if you actually turn this on the side, the single glazing still has the upright bit which clips in at the same point. So it is just a case of either modifying a double glazing trim to fit the blind hooks, or just trim this off round here. I'm going to go for trimming this off round here for how long it takes. It'll only take a couple of minutes with the hacksaw, I think, and then sand him up. So I'm going to get on with doing that now, and I can get these fitted up. Another difference when dealing with the double glazing is the internal scraper seals are actually different. So if we look down the end of there, that is a double glazing one, and then if you look at a normal single glazing trim, it's got the double seal on there and it's a lot more prominent. This is one of the trims for the sunblind that the sunblind runs up against. So this is just a normal double glazing trim, and you can just flick the seal out of there and slide him straight into that one there. So I'm going to do that now, and then I can assemble it up onto the door. A few days have passed since I filmed the last bit. I think I was putting this door card on, or the front one, I can't remember now. But yeah, that's the interior, all finished and back together. And I've done an MOT test on the car and it passed, which is great news. There's still so much to do on the project. There's already a couple of bits that I know I need to look at from that I've been driving it already. I'm not happy with the brake pedal feel at the moment, and I'm not happy with the steering feel at the moment, so I've got to look at both of them things. But what I'll do now is I'm going to insert a couple of drive-by clips, and yeah, I'll end this video here, and I'll see you on the next video.